Needless to say, societies of the early 20th century and prior were not particularly kind nor understanding to those with disabilities, particularly highly visible conditions such as ectrodacty or cleft hand, such as the condition faced by Grady Stiles Jr. and his family dating back to at least 1840. In fact, cultural conditions at the time made it so the Stiles family was able to support themselves by labeling themselves as the Lobster family and traveled with a circus starting in 1905. Grady Stiles Jr., or Lobster Boy as he would be known, was born in 1937. His father had him act as part of the family show beginning at the young age of 7. Grady Stiles Jr.'s condition was more severe than that of the rest of his family members. It impacted his feet as well as his hands, preventing him from walking and forcing him at first to move via wheelchair until his older years when he built up an incredible amount of strength in his upper body to move around with his arms. Limited in his exposure to the outside world behind his life as a freak show at a carnival, Stiles fell in love with a woman who ran off to join the circus as a teenager by the name of Maria Theresa. Teresa and Stiles would have a number of children together, and 2 would inherit their father's condition. Though the relationship began despite Stiles' genetic condition, it was his habits that would ensue to destroy himself and his family. Stiles was an alcoholic and chronic smoker, and would beat his wife and children on account of his well-developed upper body strength. One night in 1973, the violence reached a crescendo after Stiles beat Maria to the ground and ripped her IUD out with his bare hands. She divorced him after that night. Though he would go on to remarry, he was divorced again shortly thereafter. His pattern of violence would only escalate from here. In 1978, Stiles' daughter was set to marry a man that Stiles didn't approve of. He proceeded to shoot the man point blank with a shotgun the day before his daughter's wedding. He was the only man ever connected to the crime and bragged openly about having done it. However, Stiles' life of drinking and smoking had taken a toll on his health. In combination with his famed pre-existing condition, it was determined that prison could not accommodate his health needs, and he was let off on parole. After escaping the murder sentence, Stiles was known to regularly threaten people with the fact that he was evidently immune to prison and had no ails about killing them. For reasons no one can explain, by 1989, Maria Theresa had agreed to remarry Stiles, and emboldened by his freedom, he became more abusive than ever before. In 1992, it was reported that Theresa was done with Stiles' abuse and paid a neighbor $1,500 to walk into her living room and shoot Gary Stiles Jr. The man would go on to be sentenced to 12 years in prison for the murder. It was reported that Stiles was so hated in the community that only 10 people showed up to his funeral, and although many in the carnival community viewed him as a smart businessman for working his way up from freak show performer to carnival owner, personally, he was viewed at best as ill-tempered and at worst akin to Satan himself. Like and subscribe for more awesome and interesting stories.